In today's video, you're going to learn how to create a modern digital piece of art on your iPad using Procreate. And we're going to turn this into this and then into this. Yes, that's your big brother. So stick around, sit back, relax, grab your iPad if you've got one, or just watch this video of me painting. Here we are on the iPad when we're using the Apple Generation 2 pencil. And our canvas size today is going to be 500 millimeters by 500 millimeters, so a nice square piece so we can print this out. And the resolution is going to be 300 dpi, so you want the resolution nice and high in order to get that detail when you reproduce and print your artwork. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to adapt the artwork at the end to create some TV art as well from the same piece of art. The brushes that we're going to be using today are the artist oil brushes. There is a link in the description of where I've downloaded these from a website called Envato Elements. And yeah, somebody's just created some brushes on there that seem to work really well with this abstract piece. And if you want to download my colour set or the actual palette for this piece, then again there's a link in the description that takes you to the website, to this piece of art, and then you can download the palette from my website, and that's free to download as well. We're going to keep this really minimal. We're going to be doing this probably on about 2 or 3 layers. Right, to start with, we're going to block in the sea colour. So that is going to be, we're going to pick one of these blues down here. We're going to go for this sort of light blue greeny colour. And then in my recent brushes, I'm just going to be really using these brushes that are from that artist oil pack. And we're going to be using a combination of using brushes, smudges and the deletion tool. So to start with, we're going to take the fresco brush and we're just going to, if you just drag along and hold, you'll be able to paste in your waterline. And you can have this quite loose, or you can be quite precise and get your grid up and make sure that horizon is completely straight. I like to sort of work on the fly, so I like to sort of add layers over the top. Next we're going to go for the sponge brush, and again we're going to bring in a couple of these lines. I'm just blocking in a load of colour for the minute. I'm going to change the brush up and we're going to go to turpentine brush. And then we're going to start playing about with some of the other colours, so I'll try and get some blue involved. So where we've recently moved to, we're on the coast in England, up in Norfolk, so there's some absolute stunning beaches to go and visit, and I've been travelling about and taking photos, so this actual piece that I'm doing here has inspired me from sort of one of the Norfolk coastlines. Right, so now we're going to get the soft brush, and I'm just going to smudge that bottom section down. And then just going to smudge that grey into that blue. Just going to add a little bit of finer detail in this back horizon line, so I'm going to reduce the brush size and probably go in with a dark greyish brush. A dark greyish colour, and to sort of feed in some lines in the background. Change that brush. And for the oily bristle, but sort of take that right down in size. So on the horizon, just sort of creating a darker colour of the blue. Just gives that sensation of depth then. So add a piece back here. And then with the smudge tool, we're going to go back to recents and we're going to hit that turpentine. And I'm just going to try and straighten that line up with some smudging. Right, next up we're going to add some white areas. So I'm sort of happy with that background overlay of colours. I'm going to now splash in some of the highlighted areas. So we're going to click on some of these lighter greys and blues. And we're just going to take that sponge tool and I'm just going to sort of feed in some of that whitish, lightest, some of the lighter colour up here.
How do I deal with what I'm feeling? Maybe I just don't. What you do when I'm in ruins all alone. I'm all alone. And I know nothing to do helps me forget about you. You just came out of the blue. If you only knew. Let's sit and have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant. Go to a field.
I'm just making some marks of on the actual canvas as though it's the actual sea sort of coming in. What we're trying to achieve is something that's quite abstract but still looks like a seascape, but there's not too much detail in it. We're just going to back that up by going with a little bit more of a lighter colour, and in some areas where the sun is quite low, in some of these winter Norfolk days, and it's just hitting some of these waves.
The way you got me, baby, it's like I can't even breathe. You're all that I need, and I know nothing to do helps me forget about you.
And just going to add some mark making into it, maybe some of that frothy sea that's coming in.
Restaurant, go to a field, pick up some strawberries, then maybe let's fall in love.
And then vice versa, we're going to go with one of the darker colours, probably quite dark, probably this sort of blackish blue colour. Change the brush slightly, real small, and then we're just going to, just on some of them lines where it hits the white, we're just going to add in some dark highlights. And under this froth all the way along, just going to add in some of that dark. So what this what this is doing, it's sort of giving depth to the piece. Again, I want it to be quite abstract. I don't want you to look at it and think, oh, look at the detail in it. I just want it quite loose. So when we get around to printing this and putting it into a square frame, it's gonna, those details are sort of gonna jump out at you, but you'll have to really look at it to see them. I just want it so you can glance at it and think, oh, that's a seascape. You know, maybe this middle area is really dark. It sort of draws your eye in. It's quite nice. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. I just want to introduce a bit more colour into this sort of finer section there. So I think we're going to go with the blue. Let's go with this blue. I'm just going to tap it in there. When I'm painting this, I'm thinking of composition as well. I like this big light area. Your eye's getting drawn into this dark centre point. You've got this front area as well, which is kind of nice. I'm just going to add on to that front area as well. I'm just going to use this brush quite big and just tap. Just want to give the resemblance of like sea spray or a big wave coming in. I'm not worried about what the bottom's doing, but I'm just trying to achieve that detail in the top spray section. And I'm just going to layer that up with, maybe you'll see elements of the sea behind. So just going to make the brush slightly smaller, just tap quite gently over the top of that. And that will start to create that depth, giving the illusion of those are actual waves. And then we're just going to go back over the top. Probably going to use this oil liner brush and go in with the dark colour. And again, I just want to really create a heavy line under that spray that I've just added. Don't forget to always change your colours as well. Don't keep on the same colour, keep layering those colours up. Okay, with that turpentine tool, I've made those marks at the bottom, but I just want to now blend them back a little bit. I'm just using that smudge tool just to blend them into the background. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blast a bit of lighter colour in here as well. Just to separate those layers a bit more. Maybe in this corner down here it goes we're going to take one of the lettering brushes, and what we're going to do is sort of reduce that size. We're just going to create some simple marks that are just gently on this bottom blue area. They can be anywhere, you just got to tap and just release. That's just creating some illusion of some highlights. We're just creating some highlights basically. You don't want to go over the top with that, that just needs to be quite subtle. And then probably the same with the darker colour. Just want to create some marks. So as you can see in sort of some simple steps, you can really create sort of some nice depth with these brushes. Once you're happy with your foreground, I'm then going to work on the sky. But yeah, I'm overall happy with that. It's quite abstract. There's not too much detail into it. I don't like it when it's really over detailed. I just like it so you glance at it and think, yeah, that's a seascape. So we've already hit one layer, so we're just going to click and create a new layer. I'm going to create quite a moody sky, so we're going to use some of these greys with some of the blues, but we get some real stormy clouds coming in at the minute in Norfolk, so I just want to go back onto the brushes, and we're going to quite quickly just feed in roughly sort of where we're going to see some cloud cover. This brush is brilliant, the sponge dab brush. So when you dab it, it gives the detail, and when you rub it, it sort of blends it as well. So you can sort of create two, in a way it's sort of two brushes in one, which I really do like for speed. As I get nearer the horizon, I've sort of gone down in brush size. I'm just feeding in just a mixture of some of these blues. Again, all I'm trying to achieve here is block the colour in as sort of quick as possible. Okay, quickly onto the smudge tool. We're just going to smudge them colours out with that turpentine brush. You don't have to go horizontal with this. This is a sky, so sort of pull some areas up if you want, and give you an illusion of some kind of clouds. I'm just going to click on a lighter version of that sky colour. I'm going to feed it in. It's not lighter though, is it? Sometimes these brushes give off some colour behind so it doesn't give you the exact colour. There we go, so just feeding in the middle there, just a little bit of a lighter colour. Again, I'm not going for detail, I'm just going for abstract mark making to give the illusion of sky. Okay, next we're going to get that sponge dab brush, and I'm just going to dab over some of these clouds in the lighter colour. And you want to do the same again, but with a darker colour. Using some of the other artist oil paint brushes and just trying to achieve a better looking sky. I'm just playing about with some of them. Still using the same colours, I'm just literally clicking on darks and lights, just trying to layer up some kind of cloud looking sky. Again, what I'm trying to achieve, I'm not trying to make it look like really, really detailed. I just want it quite loose, quite abstract. Okay, and then with this turpentine brush, we're just aiming now just to blend everything a little bit more. So just being like really light, but sort of blending all those colours and layers together. Okay, one thing I want to try is we've just got the two layers, just going to add one more additional layer in there. And sometimes I like to just go a little bit heavy one side with some colour on the horizon line, just to give some resemblance of some land maybe sticking out. And the reason why I put this on a separate layer is so if I don't like it, I can quite easily get rid of it. Again, don't want it too detailed. I just wanted to separate that horizon line a bit one side, just sort of draws your eye in a bit more. With that finished piece of art complete on the iPad, I've uploaded it to the computer. What we're going to do, we're going to be printing it out and we're going to be mounting it into this grey framed box. Now this is 16 inches by 16 inches, which is about 300mm by 300mm. And we're going to be printing that today on some paper by Photo Speed. Now this is a natural soft textured paper. It's got a slight grain to it. And it's one of those great papers that combined with my Epson professional printer, I can create some fantastic prints. And I also like using this printer and this paper combination when I do an actual physical painting. I'll run you through the process of that one day, but I'll do a physical painting and we photograph the painting and I can create some high-end digital limited edition prints from that printer. And then what I'm going to do after this is printed, we're going to relay this out into TV format. So I've got the Samsung Frame TV, which is a great TV. If you're into your art, then I highly recommend getting one. So with all that being said, let's head over to the printer, get this running and get this one finished. I guess the question is, am I happy with the results? And I've got to say, yeah, really, really happy. The detail that you can draw digital art at really does represent well when you print it out. So these limited edition prints have turned out really well. And if you head over to my website, I've created a set of 3 digital prints that are quite similar in style and slightly different in the composition of the way that they've been created. This is quite an easy and effective piece of art that you can create at home. So go grab your iPad, download Procreate, download my colour palette, which, as I say, is in the link below. It will take you through to my website, and then you can download that colour set from there and just give it a go, because you can create some fantastic results for your living space. So until next time, happy painting.